What's up, YouTube? What's up, Raider Nation? It's 510 Raider, and it was another crappy Sunday at the office for the Raiders. And when the game was over, who I really felt for at first was Aiden O'Connell. He really wasn't dealt a good hand coming into this game. His two starting wide receivers out, one of his tight ends out, starting running back out. And knowing all that, I was hoping Luke Getsy would come up with some creative game plan to help him out. I even told some of my family we're going to learn a lot about Luke Getsy in this game, because Aiden O'Connell was not his choice to start at quarterback at the beginning of the season. We all know Gardner Minshew has some ability to improvise with his legs, but that's not the case with Aiden O'Connell. He's a classic pocket quarterback. So I was hoping Luke Getsy would come up with some type of creative game plan, knowing all of the skill position players that were going to be out in this game. And there was nothing. Nothing. No jet sweeps, no reverses. It was literally drop back and throw the ball. Dink and dunk. Throwing screens behind the line of scrimmage. Predictable crap. I saw a few bootlegs here and there, but that was about it, and it didn't get us nowhere. The first drive was scripted, and there was no pass attempts to wide receiver, just tight ends and running backs. And personally, I don't think Aiden O'Connell had a bad game. He just didn't have an eye-opening, spectacular game. One thing that irritated me in this game was our run defense. We allowed 183 yards rushing. That's a season high. We allowed 3 rushing touchdowns. That's a season high. We also allowed an average of 5.2 yards a carry. That's not a recipe for success, and that's not going to win you a lot of football games. That alone leads me into another issue that I spoke about last week. Tackling. These guys need to change up their technique and tackle. Stop trying to tackle from the waist up and start tackling below the knee. I mean, damn, isn't that tackling 101? During the post-game interviews, especially the one with Jack Jones, he was preaching that the defense needs to start creating and getting takeaways. And though I was agreeing with him, I was also like, but bro, before you start getting turnovers again, y'all need to start freaking tackling. And I was glad one of the reporters told him about tackling as well. He kind of gave the reporter a look like, I don't even want to hear that. But it's true. Antonio Pierce talked all week in the press conferences that they went back to the fundamentals and practiced tackling. I was hearing how practice was training camp like. Could have fooled me based on what the hell I watched. It didn't look like they practiced tackling at all. All I know is it needs to get fixed, and it needed to get fixed before training camp. What really drove me nuts was all the miscues. It was like one after another, after another, after another. It was like any time the Raiders had any type of momentum going, boom, a miscue. This is what made them so frustrating, and I'm actually going to go in order with them. Second quarter, roughing the passer takes away Divine Diablo's interception. That leads to a Steelers touchdown. Third quarter, A.J. Cole's punt is blocked, and the Steelers take over first and goal at the 9-yard line. They get a field goal out of it. Later in the third, defense gets the stop on 3rd and 18, but there's a roughing the passer penalty that keeps the drive alive, and it ends in a Steelers touchdown. And I don't know what these refs are looking at, because those roughing the passer penalties were BS. Then in the fourth quarter, the Raiders drive downfield. Aiden O'Connell throws a touchdown pass to Alexander Madison, but it's taken away by an ineligible man downfield penalty. Then just plays later, Amir Abdullah fumbles the ball at the 1-yard line. That mistake alone is the one that had me going, oh my God, you're fucking kidding me. Then late in the fourth quarter, when O'Connell was backed up in his own end zone, He throws an interception that gets returned to the 7-yard line, and that leads to another Steelers touchdown. There was a total of 23 points scored by the Steelers off of Raiders' miscues. It just wasn't a pretty game to watch. All those miscues, as they just kept piling up, were just frustrating as hell. Not even just frustrating, it was just ugly as hell to watch. It was an ugly freaking game. I think one stat that's crazy to think, and it's not even just this game in particular, but it's been 3 of our 4 losses. The Raiders are 0-3 when they have a lead at the end of the first quarter. And after a game like this, who knows how this season is going to play out. At this point, we just got to hope for the any given Sunday. And our next games against the Rams at SoFi, where, how I mentioned in my Week 1 recap, the Raiders just don't have a good track record in that stadium. But like I just said, any given Sunday. Now, despite the crappy game, Tuesday, we were all finally able to put the Davante Adams news to rest. He's traded to the New York Jets. I'm personally just glad that the issue is finally done and over with. I don't watch ESPN or NFL Network simply because they don't cover the Raiders every day. So I prefer to not listen to the people that work for those respective networks. But I am glad we don't have to listen to potential rumors and potential teams, blah, 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 blah. When I found out that it was the New York Jets, I understand the reuniting with Aaron Rodgers. I get that part. But I still laughed because it's the Jets. Davante Adams preaches that he wants to win a Super Bowl. He always spoke that at this stage in his career, he has more yesterdays than he has tomorrows. But he chose to go to the organization that currently has the longest active playoff drought. The Jets haven't been to the playoffs in 13 years. And when Davante went to sleep, he was 2-4. When he woke up, he was 2-4. But good luck to him. It was fun watching him as a Raider, especially in his first year with Derek Carr, despite the disappointing season. But it's time to move on. This isn't the off season. It's the start of Week 7 in the NFL. He moves on, we move on. And the other news was finding out that Tom Brady was approved and is officially a partial owner of the Raiders. I've never cared for Tom Brady, and I'm sure most of you Raider fans out there have never liked him yourselves. But with him now having some ownership stake in the team, we actually have to hope he succeeds now. Hopefully it can be something positive. Only time will tell. But that's all I got for y'all tonight. I appreciate y'all tuning in as always. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week and have a great weekend.